since we're starting at the end deliberately, because this is the power of an audience, and then we'll go back a little bit. Give me the breakdown on a handful of the businesses and
So there's I own 9 businesses now, not counting my actual personal brand. A real estate engineering firm that's less than 2 years old, $400,000 a month of revenue. Enterprise value is a tricky thing, but I wouldn't sell any interest in that company at a $10 million valuation.
Right.
I'm a big part of a company called Support Shepherd that hires and recruits international employees. That's a really great, thriving business. 100 plus employees, over 7 figures a month of revenue. I'm a founding partner in a web development agency, an SEO agency with 150K plus of MRR in less than a year. A pay-per-click marketing company called AdRhino, a US-based recruiting company called RecruitJet, a property insurance company called Titan Risk, a business brokerage called Nick Huber, a sales and executive coaching business called Huber Method, and life's coming at me fast.
It's all from the audience.
I actually added up all the employees. Were 44 million a year of revenue if you take this month's numbers.
Yep.
282 employees. It's big. This is getting really big.
Yeah, and it's the rate that it's compounding. Like we're sharing numbers and details in our group text threads and all of that, and the rate that it's compounding is pretty insane.
I'd say through my audience, through my newsletter, and through Twitter, I'm adding $3 to $5 million a month of enterprise value across my portfolio.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. So, okay, now let's go back in before you started the audience.
Yeah.
Right, and you're thinking about this might be something that would help accelerate your career in some way, help you raise money. What drove it?
I like attention, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I've always been a guy who's goofs off, loud. I'm having fun when everybody else is having fun. And so I decided to start a podcast about small business. And
the podcast was the first thing?
The podcast was the very first thing. It was called The Sweaty Startup. I made 10 episodes and zero people listened. I tried to get my friends to listen and realized they didn't give a shit about entrepreneurship. So I had zero way to get people to listen to this. I knew nobody who could help me. I had no audience. So I went on Reddit, founded by the Hoffman guy. And it was a 8-month warfare of me writing copy, trying to get people in the entrepreneurship subreddit to read what I had to say and then click the link at the bottom of my post to go and listen to my podcast. I got better at writing copy. I had a little knack for it. I practiced nonstop for a year. I was super into it. When a guy named Moses Kagan found me on there, he became a friend of mine and said, Nick, you got to get on Twitter. That's where people are doing deals.
Right.
You're in the real estate business. You got to get on Twitter. And I ignored him. 3 months went by. I'm like, no way. Twitter's where people go to argue about Donald Trump. Like,
usually
I'm not
when we get
there.
that great advice, we ignore it for a long time. I had that when someone pulled me aside. Was like, you have to stop treating ConvertKit as a side project and double down. And it's one of those things where you want to say like, yeah, I heard great advice and I acted on it right away. And it's like, no, 3 to 6 months later.
I'm a super confident guy, and I look back at myself when I was 21 years old making business decisions. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 20.
Yeah.
And I cringe now thinking about how cocky I was and what level I was actually playing at, right? Now I'm getting wiser to know that there are so many levels to this game.
Right.
I'm leveling up now, but then there's levels of these guys who own these beachfront properties for $40 million. There's levels all the way up to the Elon Musks of the world, and I'm middle of the pack guy.
Right.
So I'm getting way better at changing my mind on things, but I still have the confidence and the swag and the ego and the things that it takes to do crazy things that take risk. So I got on Twitter finally he called me the second time and said, Nick, you're wasting it on Reddit. Get on Twitter. I went on Twitter and did a full thread about one of my self-storage facilities. I broke down the profit, the loss, how I found the deal, how we made it more valuable, and how we made like $1 million. And nobody had ever posted a profit and loss statement on Twitter before.
Right.
I just shared wildly open. And Moses retweeted me. He had 2,000 followers and I had 3. He retweeted my third post and gave me another 300 followers. And then I had a couple threads really pop off over the years and got me to where I'm at today with 340,000 followers on Twitter and a newsletter with 220,000 subscribers, 2 podcasts, the Nick Huber Show, Sweaty Startup, a YouTube channel with the podcast, I think, are about 3,000 downloads per week. The YouTube channel has 23,000 subscribers or so. Instagram's at about 150,000 people now. So it's just starting to compound and really get rolling.
Big news, guys. I created a free PDF that details my method on how I analyze a self-storage facility and figure out what it's worth. Give me a pen, the back of a napkin, and a couple metrics, and I can figure out about what the property is going to be worth to me. If you want to download this PDF, click in the show notes, the first link, and you can give me your email address, and you get a email right away with a 4-page PDF that outlines exactly how I think about underwriting or giving my initial analysis on a self-storage facility. Again, click the link in the show notes, and you're going to get that document for free. This episode of Sweaty Startup is brought to you by SupportShepherd.com. SHEPHERD. They are a full-service headhunting agency in the Philippines to help you find talent for your service business at 20% of the cost of U.S. equivalents. I've hired 8 employees through Support Shepherd. I cannot speak highly enough about how it is revolutionizing my business. This company finds you candidates. They background check them. They do personality tests. They make sure they're a good fit based on your job description. They set up the interviews, and they even help you with the employment contract when you're ready to make the hire. I cannot recommend them enough. Check out SupportShepherd.com to learn more.